Good evening, sir. Good evening, ma'am.
Yes.
We
Good
are
evening. Good
live
evening.
now.
Yes. Good evening.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome. Good evening, participants. Welcome to our Siddharth College Law Webinars YouTube channel. I hope you have enjoyed our previous sessions. Today also we have brought you a very good session with a very good speaker, and I'm sure the way I enjoy all the session, I am sure you'll be enjoying. And today's session is also very good. Our today's topic is basically economic justice in the era of this pandemic COVID-19. So now I would like to invite our principal, ma'am Sandhya Doke. She'll be speaking few words, and then I'll be giving a small introduction of our speaker, and then you will not have to wait more. The speaker will continue with our webinar. Sandhya, ma'am, please.
Yes, thanks Arun. Good evening one and all. I Sandhya Doke, in charge principal, Siddharth College of Law, once again takes this opportunity to express my welcome address to our today's resource person and all our participants for fifth webinar guest lecture. We would like to extend our special welcome to today's guest of honor, Dr.Sanjay Jadhav, who will be speaking today on a topic economic justice in the era of COVID-19, later tonight. Professor Sanjay Jadhav sir, association with Siddharth College of Law, is from last several years, and he has always been a very great helping hand towards us and our society. He has not only assisted us, but guided us on various several topics. Sir has not only attended many seminar, workshops and conferences, but has also organized many of those and adequately handled all those. He has also addressed many of the sessions on various topics. So on behalf of Siddharth College of Law Management and staff, once again, I would like to welcome our resource person and all my participants for today's program. I'm sure with the active participation of a resource person and all our participants today, today's program will be also a grand success. Thanks one and all. Arun, please carry it forward.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your sweet and lovely introduction, like always. Again, I'll be giving you a brief introduction of our today's speaker. Our today's speaker is Dr. Sanjay Jadhav, sir. He is a well-known professor, and he's been in the teaching field since last 20 years. He have completed, I would start with his educational qualification. He have completed his BCom and MCom from Mumbai University. Then he have also done his LLB and LLM from Mumbai University itself. His achievements were he stood first in the LLM examination in Mumbai University. He not was a actually he is still a gold medalist. And then he stood first in the final year of LLB again from Government Law College. He's a ex-student of Government Law College. Then he stood third he stood third in BCom again from Mumbai Law University itself. His area of teaching, that is his expertise, is law relating to IPR, that is intellectual property rights, then corporate law, contract law, jurisprudence, custom law, CRPC, penology, penal laws, and laws related to violence against weaker section, judicial process, and research methodology. He have attended more than 50 seminars and webinars till now, and has been part of many such different kind of webinars and seminars. He have published so many articles. If I keep on reading, it would go from pages to pages. He is a very well-known professor in his circle itself and also in the student circles. Presently, he is working as an assistant professor in the Department of Law, Mumbai University since 2007. So it's been more than 13 years he's been working there as an assistant professor, Department of Law, and handling it very well. He was also a professor in our reputed institute itself, that is Siddharth Law College. And previously, he have also given his services to MGM Law College, Nerul, and was a part-time lecturer for RM Bhatt Law College, Parel. He was also a fellow lecturer in Government Law College, which many of you not be knowing, in the year 2001 to 2013. he was a practicing lawyer in Mumbai High Court. So now I would like to, instead of wasting any much more time, I would like to invite our Dr. Sanjay Jadhav sir to continue with this webinar with a big applause.
Yes.
Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank,
so much.
thank you. Arun Kumar, my voice is, I hope it is audible, correct? My
Yes, sir.
voice
It
is
is.
audible, yeah.
Yes, sir. It is very much
Yeah.
audible, sir.
First of all, let me say few lines in Marathi. सिद्धार्थ कॉलेजच्या ज्या प्राचार्य आहेत संध्या मॅडम, त्यांनी माझं कौतुक केल्याबद्दल त्यांची खरंच संध्या वंदना, कारण संध्याकाळची वेळ झालेली आहे, त्यानिमित्त त्यांचं वंदन पण करूया, म्हणजे संध्या वंदना. Really great thanks to ma'am for welcoming me. Arun Kumar, really a very good introduction made by you. Generally, it was very quite extensive, but you did it very well. Thank you very much for giving such a wonderful introduction about me.
Sir, it is our pleasure,
Commenting
sir,
on
to have you
Siddharth,
here.
yeah. Commenting on Siddharth College of Law, remember one thing, it is not my institute, it is my family. And all members who are working in the Siddharth College of Law, presently the Sandhya ma'am, we are a part of the family. So it was a part of the family relationship. So today I am here with you, it is because of the Sandhya ma'am. So the Siddharth College of Law has been my inspiring institute. And based on that, I got an opportunity to University of Mumbai. I always feel that the Siddharth College of Law must achieve the highest level of its educational achievement in its educational life, because it is a memory of Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar. So with these few lines, let me go ahead with my topic, which is the principle of law colleges assigned to me. Is the economic justice with reference to the COVID-19. I will be talking about the COVID-19 at the later stage. Let me tell you about the philosophical aspect about the term called economic and the justice. As you know, the word justice basically derives, basically refers to a state of feeling to a person, one sort of satisfaction. So it is nothing but a state of feeling which ensures the satisfaction to that particular person. So when a person gets the satisfaction, then you can say yes, he has got the justice. So let us not be under misunderstanding of the fact that you get the justice only from the court of law. No, each and every stakeholder in the society is under obligation to ensure the justice to each other people. So when a principal college or principal Siddharth College of Law is under obligation to ensure the justice to its students, and which the Sandhya ma'am is really doing wonderful. So when you talk about the justice, it is nothing but a state of feeling which every person acquires by the virtue of its psychological satisfaction. When you apply this concept with relation to the economics, we call it as an economic justice. Now, how do you define term economic? Remember one thing, economic is a normative science, or rather science which assesses the behavior of the human being. So economics is a science in which the importance has been given to income, wealth, and property. I repeat again, economics is a normative science which gives importance to income, wealth, and property. So when you talk about the economic justice, basically it refers to the justice in relation to income, wealth, and employment to each and every person who is entitled to have it. Now, commenting on the economic justice. When I say economic justice, basically it refers to right of the particular person to have a sufficient source of income, to have a sufficient source of livelihood, and to have a property. Now, I will take you back to the history, which is known for the battle of the economic justice. The famous battle of the Mahabharata, the Kurukshetra. There was a battle between the Pandavas and the Kauravas. The many religious leaders say that it was a battle between the Dharma and Adharma. Let me become more practical. It was not a battle between the Dharma and Adharma. It was a battle for the power. It was a battle for the property. As you know very well, when the Krishna went to the Kauravas and he told that even if you don't want to give their property, don't give them back. At least give them the 5 villages, which the Duryodhana was not ready to give. And therefore, that compelled the Pandavas to fight against the Kauravas. So the battle between the Pandavas and Kauravas was nothing but it was a battle for the property, or it was a battle for the economic justice. So that was the beginning of what is called as economic justice. So whenever a person is deprived of his economic justice, he take the law in his own hand, he fight and he struggle with other persons to whom or from whom he feels that he is responsible for denying it further. I would like to give an example of the Gautam Buddhas. Now, when we talk about the economic justice, remember one thing, we always correlate to this word with that of the income, property, and livelihood. I always say that the bhojan is more important than the bhajan. I can understand the importance of the bhajan in the religious life, social life, and the family life of the person. But whenever there is a conflict between the bhajan and the bhojan, I always feel that what is called as the bhojan should prevail over the bhajan. Even the Karl Marx says that the bhojan is more important than the bhajan, and therefore he was not in favor of the what is called as a religious concept. He said that the religion makes the person to make hunger and compels the human being to live out of the starvation. So whenever we talk about economic justice, it basically refers the right of the person to have a bhojan. When we talk about economic justice, basically we talk about the right of the person to have what is called as a right to food, right to property, right to income, and right to wealth. There was one person who was walking through the street, and the follower or one of the highlighted just he was not able to understand the jnana to that point.
Hello everyone. I'm really sorry for the disturbance for the technical disturbances. We'll be back again just in a second. Yes, sir.
Should I continue?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now you're live again.
Yeah, yeah. So that follower of the Gautam Buddha was imparting a lot of knowledge to that particular person who was walking despite of Gauta. And he took that person to the Gautam Buddha. He told Gautam Buddha, "Oh master, whatever knowledge you had given to me, same I had imparted to him, but still he is not ready to accept. He is not ready to admit, and he is not ready to understand. What is the reason?" The Gautam Buddha looked at that person. He felt first of all that that person is hungry. वो आदमी भुकेला है, त्याला भूक लागलेली. And when he realized that the person is suffering from the food, or rather he's hungry. So first of all, what Buddha did, instead of giving any more bhajan, what he did first, he offered the bhojan. When he had a sufficient amount of food, after having a sufficient amount of food, he got satisfaction. He got one kind of psychological satisfaction. And then Gautam Buddha asked his follower to deliver a lecture to him. And then he delivered the lecture and he understood everything. That time he realized, no, religious knowledge is the secondary aspect. First, you have to impart what is called as economic justice. First, you have to offer what is called as a livelihood. First, you have to offer what is called as a food to the person. Then only the rest of the things comes into the picture. So, when I talk about economic justice, basically it refers to the survival. Survival is more important. Now, for the sake of survival, education is the most important tool. It is one of the most important mechanisms. This fact was realized by the
Hello. I think there has been some network issues. So that is why the video and the audio is hanging. But please don't go away anywhere. We are still live and the webinar is still on. So we'll be continuing with our webinar. Please be seated. Thank you so much.
called as the welfare of every being. Welfare of every being. Now, welfare of every being means welfare of every being means welfare of the human being. Form of economy in India. Now it has lost economy. When you talk about the concept of what is called as economic justice through the policies of the economy, let us not forget the most important technique or a mechanism is the constitution of India. Now, it is through the constitution of India one can understand the importance of economic justice. Now, we have various international treaties and conventions which talk about economic justice. First of all, let us understand the wisdom and wisdom and the vision of the framers of the Indian Constitution with regard to the economic justice to the people of India. Now look at the preamble of the Indian Constitution. The preamble of the Indian Constitution do find a specific word for the economic justice. Now, although preamble is not a part of the part of the Constitution, but it can be taken into account while interpreting any articles of the Indian Constitution in order to arrive at its real meaning. So, the rule of purpose interpretation clearly says that the preamble of the Indian Constitution may be taken into account in order to arrive at a true interpretation. Now, the preamble of the Indian Constitution clearly says that the purpose of the Constitution is to ensure economic, political, and social justice. Okay, so the Constitution of India clearly provides what is called as economic justice. So the Constitution mandate is very much clear that the government is under obligation to ensure the economic justice to its people. Now, when I say economic justice in my previous discussion, I had already told you that economic justice basically refers to right to income, right to property, and right to wealth. Among other things, right to income is a very common thing. It's a common phenomena. So when I say right to income, basically refers to right to employment. Now we have, before we discuss the Indian constitutional provision, let us switch over to international conventions and treaties. Now, commenting on international treaties and conventions, we have Article 13 of the Indian Constitution, which basically defines term law. Remember one thing, when you analyze Article 13 of the Indian Constitution, law basically include legislations and the judgments delivered by the Supreme Court, and of course the custom orders, circulars, notifications, etc. and etc. Now, when you talk about the definition of the law, international treaties are not included within the definition of the law. However, we have Article 51 of the Indian Constitution, which says that it shall be duty of the Indian citizens to respect the international treaties. We have Article 253, which imposes obligation on the government to make a suitable legislation with a view to comply its international treaties. Why am I discussing all those things? In order to highlight the importance of international treaties and convention with regard to economic justice through our constitutional provisions and through our national legislations. Now, there are certain international treaties and conventions like UDHR, specifically Article 25, and then you have Article 28 of the UDHR clearly says that right to standard of living, right to have a physical and mental well-being is a part of the economic justice. And more importantly, UDHR clearly says that it shall be basic human right of each and every human being to take a part in governing affairs of the state. When I say right to take a part in governing affairs of the state, that basically implies one sort of economic justice. So state is under obligation to ensure what is called as employment and self-employment to each and every human being. So to ensuring employment or to ensuring employment or self-employment to each and every person has been regarded as economic justice. So economic justice demands that the government must comply its obligation or the commitment towards the people to ensure the job and job opportunities in terms of private job, public job, and in terms of the business opportunity to its people. So at international level, we have various treaties and conventions like UDHR, then Universal Convention, Civil and Political Rights, then International Covenant on socio-economic and cultural rights. Those conventions, essence of which clearly says that economic justice in terms of right to job, right to employment, right to have a entrepreneur skill, and right to create the property have been regarded as a what is called as the economic justice. Article 1.5 of the European Convention on Human Rights arena. The economic justice. Now, the Baba Sahib Ambedkar to the down to the
Hello all, we are sorry. We are facing some technical problem. We will available shortly. Thank you for waiting.
Hello.
Welcome back,
अरे
sir.
अंकल
Well, welcome back, sir.
हेलो
Yes, sir. सर आय थिंक तुमचा काय नेटवर्क इश्यू आहे म्हणून ते परत परत हँग होत आहे. हा हँग होत आहे सर.
हॅलो
हो सर हँग होत आहे. तुमचे व्हॉइस पण ब्रेक होत आहे आणि तुमचं नेटवर्क जे व्हिडिओ आहे ना ते पण परत परत जात आहे. काहीतरी तुमचा नेटवर्कचा इश्यू आहे सर.
दोन हॅलो हॅलो
येस सर.
हॅलो
येस सर.
just can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
Yes sir, you are audible sir.
Can you hear me now? Can I go ahead?
Yes sir, sure sir. We are live only.
Yeah. Now I think my voice is audible. Okay.
Yes sir.
Yeah. So now look at my hello. Hello.
Yes
Yes, sir.
sir.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Now you are audible, sir. Go ahead.
Hello. Yeah. So I was on point of livelihood. So the Sida title to economic justice for the weak general. We have Article 16.4 which categorically says that there shall be reservation for scheduled caste and scheduled tribe and backward classes in the matter of public employment. So why reservation in favor to action in favor of the backward classes? It do not ensure that in marketing which economic justice in court classes. Famous Sani versus Union of India, wherein the Supreme Court also recognized the importance of economic justice in classes. Now, let us go policy of the Indian Constitution and justice is ensured by the Indian. By the virtue of this law, virtue of this directive principle policy law. So, irrespective of is basically income we have equal distribution. Okay, then we have interestingly Article 46 of the Indian Constitution. Constitution. Article 46 also specifically talk about the right to freedom of expression. Article 46 also talk about the right to freedom of expression. Article 46 also talk about the right to freedom of expression. Article 46 also talk about the right to freedom of expression. Article 46 also talk about the right to freedom of expression. Article 46 also talk about the right to freedom of expression. Article 46 also talk about the right to freedom of expression. Article 46 also talk about the right to freedom of expression. Article 46 also talk about the right to freedom of expression. Article 46 also talk about the right to freedom of expression. Article 46 also talk about the right to freedom of expression. Article 46 also talk about the right to freedom of expression. Article 46 also talk about the right to freedom of expression. Article 46 also talk about the right to freedom of expression. Article 46 also talk about the right to freedom of expression. Article 46 also talk about the right to freedom of expression. Article 46 also talk about the right to freedom of expression. Article 46 also talk about the right to freedom of expression. Article 46 also talk about the right to freedom of expression. Article 46 also talk about the right to freedom of expression. Article 46 also talk about the right to freedom of expression. Article 46 also talk about the right to freedom of expression. Article 46 also talk about the right to freedom of expression. Article 46 also talk about the right to freedom of expression. Article 46 also talk about the right to freedom of expression. Article 46 also talk about the right to freedom of expression. Article 46 also talk about the right to freedom of expression. Article 46 also talk about the right to freedom of expression. Article 46 also talk about the right to freedom of expression. Article 46 also talk about the right to freedom of expression.
We are very much sorry again. There is some really bad network issues because of the ongoing problems, and I'm really sorry we cannot help you with this. But we are still live, and we'll be continuing with our webinar as soon as our host is live. So please be patient, and thank you so much.
Dear all, please be patient. We will be starting soon, facing some technical problem. Sorry for waiting you for a long time. Thank you.
Hello.
Hello. Yes, sir. Hello, Sandhya ma'am.
किलोन एयरटेल थैंक्स ऐप किंमत www.airtel.in
हाँ मैडम. बरं येतं. ऑडिओ ऑन आहे ना. हॅलो. हॅलो.
Yes, sir.
हॅलो. सो चालू आहे का? हॅलो.
Yes, sir. We can hear you, sir.
हॅलो.
Yes, sir. You can continue, sir.
Yeah, yeah. So, as I already discussed, now international treaties, conventions, legislations, concept of the economic justice corona that legislative international relations, various international agencies like IMF, World Bank, all those during the economic justice. Now, what will be their stand? What will be the functions after AC? That is after global economic video पण on कर. Hmm? Hello.
Welcome back, sir. Welcome back, sir.
Now can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear.
Yeah. Now, Sandhya ma'am, I think Sandhya ma'am is also with us. Sandhya madam?
So, sir, I am here. You can start, sir. Now you are audible.
Yeah. So I was discussing about what is called as economic justice in COVID era. So I was telling you about what is called as a concept of BC and AC. Now, what is the concept of BC? It is basically called as a before Corona. Now, what is the concept of AC after Corona? So now, what was the economic justice? BC, that is before Corona, that we had seen. Now, what could be the concept of economic justice after Corona that we are going to see? Now, because of this Corona crisis, the whole global economy has changed. I'm telling you. I don't know what will be the future state organization. I don't know what will be the future status of World Trade Organization, World Bank, and IMF and ILO as well. The whole post-Corona situation will change the dimensions of international. So, the whole functionings of IMF, World Bank, and your world, your white book will have to undergo through. So they will have to change drastically in order to ensure the economic justice. So regarding the survival, regarding the functioning of the mark, depending on the future economic situation after 1 year or the 2 year. Let us talk about the concept of economic justice in India, that is AC, that is after Corona. So during the Corona crisis, what was the economic justice? What problem of the Indian people that we will see? As you know very well, even as on today, 50% of the Indian population stays below the poverty line. Stays below the poverty line. Even as on today, there are various people who do not get adequate food for their for their day-to-day life. Even there are even there are even there are people who sleep uh, without any food at their night. So what government is doing for them, let us analyze for them. Now, during this COVID-19, the class which was the most affected was the migrant employee or the migrant workers. Now, as a student of law, all of you are aware that there is a law called Interstate Migrant Employees Act. Okay. Although Article 19 of the Indian Constitution, Indian citizens can move from one place to another place in the territory of India for the sake of any job opportunity. No problem. That is one of the important fundamental right which is ensured by Article 19 of the Indian Constitution. But when it comes to the employment, it becomes the subject matter of the state. Now, ensuring the employment, ensuring economic justice after Corona will be the prime responsibility of the state. Now, entry to Article Constitution categorically says that government shall ensure the employment to its people. So, economic justice after Corona crisis will be the prime responsibility of the state. Now, during this Corona crisis, as you know very well, so many people were struggling for the food, so many people were struggling for the employment, so many people were struggling for the income, etc. and etc. What were the causes? What were the reasons for that? Now, remember one thing: we had a lockdown after 22nd March 2020. Now, when the lockdown was declared by the government, most of the employees who were working in various states, they were the migrant. They were the daily wage earner. Now, they did not have a sufficient source of shelter with them. They did not have a stable income. They were not having the permanent income source. As a result of which, they lost their employment opportunity. As a result of which, they lost their most of the social security measures. So, since they were not having any source of economic livelihood, they were compelled to move from their employment place to the native place. But since there was a shortage of manpower, since there was a lockdown, they could not move from one place to another place. As a result of which, you could find so many people were injured. Now there were incidents which depicted in the newspaper that the 16 employees were there on the track, and they were died due to the malgadi. And when the petition was filed before the Supreme Court refused to entertain with this petition on the ground that there were not sufficient evidence. Now, when we talk about economic justice, remember one thing. It's not only the political government, it is not only the legislative body who is under an obligation to ensure economic justice. Remember one thing. It is individual, it is the corporate entities, and it is the judiciary. All are equally responsible to ensure the economic justice to all its people. It is an equal responsibility of a judiciary to ensure the economic justice. So in the present crisis, when there are such kind of situation, it is a high time on the part. It is a high time that the High Court and the Supreme Court should interfere in order to ensure the economic justice. Now we have various constitutional provisions in terms of Article 32, Article 226 of the Indian Constitution, which empower the plenary power on the High Court and the Supreme Court to meet the end of the justice, to ensure the fundamental rights for its people. The Supreme Court and the High Court has got unplenary power. They can issue various kinds of direction to the state government as well as central government to initiate and to ensure the economic justice to its migrant employees. Okay. Now, likewise, when we talk about the responsibility of the individual, we have a fundamental duties in terms of Article 51A to I of the Indian Constitution, wherein it is the most important fundamental duty which is imposed on the individual that to protect the humanism. Now, when we talk about humanism, it basically implies the humanity. So it is the humanity which every human being are protect or to ensure the economic justice of our migrant employees. Those do not have a sufficient food. It is our duty and it is your duty to ensure the economic justice to our migrant employees. So it is not the legislation, it is the fundamental duty which is regarded as a Bible for our Indian people, which imposes obligation on all of us imposes obligation on all of us to ensure what is called as economic justice to all of us people. Likewise, we have what is called as a corporate entities. Now, corporate entities, the CSR, you know very well what is called as a concept of CSR. Now, the concept of CSR has got its legal recognition in terms of Section 135 of the Companies Act 2013. Under Section 135 of the Companies Act of 2013, the corporate entities are under obligation to spend at least its 2% of the net profit for the welfare of the society. Now, is it not a duty of the corporate entities to ensure economic justice for its people? Yes, it is equally their responsibility to ensure the economic justice to all its people. Whether any corporate entities have come forward or not, we don't know exactly. See the note, so the information what we get is always is the secondary information. So whatever it has been reflected in the newspaper, to what extent they are adequate, to what extent they are reliable, we don't know. So even though the corporate entities are doing the help to the needy people, yes, we can say they are doing well. But if they are not doing, then it's a high time that we do to ensure the economic justice to its people during this COVID crisis. Now, the government has come out with the various policies. Now, the most important policy which I would like to highlight the labor welfare legislation. Now, today we have a concept of something called as a minimum wage act. Now, if you compare the concept of the wage with that of the America, then you will come to know now that there are going to be three concepts of the wages: minimum wage, fair wage, and living wage. The government, I don't know what would be the step of the government, but in order to attract the foreign direct investment, in order to have what is called as the corporate entities to be with us or to be at us in the soil of the Indian society, the government is seriously thinking about suspending its labor laws. If they will suspend their labor laws, then I don't know what about the minimum wages act. I don't know what will happen to the payment of wages act. I don't know what will happen to the factories act, industrial dispute act, etc. And etc. Now, what is called as a fair wage act? It is something called as a living wage. Living wage means keeping in view the inflation, keeping in view the cost of prices of goods that must be decided. Now you are fully aware teaching community. The teachers were working. Some of the colleges the teachers are not get the adequate salary. Some of the CSB teachers are not getting the adequate serious economic despite of the clear cut guidelines by the UGC. Some of the teachers who are working in unaided colleges, the teachers are not getting the adequate salary. So what is the government doing? The government is seriously thinking about suspending its labor laws. If they will suspend their labor laws, then I don't know what will happen to the payment of wages. If they will suspend their labor laws, then I don't know what will happen to the payment of wages. So despite of having the facilities, despite of having the facilities, So government is going to change what is called as important piece of legislation. Most of the sections of the particularly remember one thing, in unorganized sector. Please remember one thing, in the BPU sector, we do not have an industrial dispute act. In BPU sector, we do not have a factories act. In most of the unorganized sector, most of the females who are working in the farm, at the farm field, they do not get the proper minimum wage. Most of the employees, the female employees who are working at various unorganized sector, they are not getting equal remuneration. So despite of having what is called as all the laws on paper, they are not getting adequate economic justice. Now commenting on the responsibility of the media. Now media we call it as what is called as a fourth pillar of the democracy. Are they not under obligation? Remember, it reminds me that the Nilavati Bera case and what is called as the famous case, DK Basu case, when the Supreme Court entertained or rather converted a newspaper cutting as a part of the PIL. Is this not a duty and the responsibility of the media agency to send such clips to the Supreme Court, to the High Court, in order to highlight the deprivation of economic justice to the migrant workers? Yes. So if there is a reality, if there is a deprivation of economic justice on the part of the migrant employee, it's equally responsible of the media to refer those clips to the judiciary, and it is equally duties and responsibility of the judiciary to ensure the economic justice. No doubt the government is really coming out with various constructive plans and policies. Recently, government has come out with the 20,000 lakh crores policies, the big economic package, which is some around equal to the 10% of our GDP, which has been spent for the welfare or in order to ensure economic justice for the poor people, for the middle class people, for the farmers. Now today we are going to have a one nation, one nation policies. No doubt it is very good policy. The government is going to give various kinds of loan, like a loan without any collateral security to the small scale entrepreneur, to the middle scale entrepreneur, etc. and etc. So the government efforts are clear cut, showing the sensitive efforts on their part in order to ensure the economic justice to the migrant employees, to the farmers, to the poor people, to the middle class people. Even there has been a drastic change under the Income Tax Act. The government has come out with a policy that the corporate entities are not under obligation to pay the TDS. Okay, so the government is giving various kinds of facilities. Government is coming out of various kinds of activities. When the government has recently realized its PF liquidity fund, that is 2,500 crores fund the government has released to the provident fund. Now those persons who are earning less, that is whose income is less than 15,000 per month, the government is paying their fund for another 3 months. The government is taking all those steps. But despite all that fact, the situation is pathetic. Even as on today, we see a number of cases of the migrant employees. They are struggling from one place to another place. They are moving from one place to another person. So that gives a clear-cut conclusion that there is an economic injustice to such kind of people. See, this is one of the biggest crises which has shown the 10 lakh migration from one place to another place. Now, the Karl Marx, who used to say that the state is an exploiting agency of the masses at the hands of the classes. I think if this situation will continue to occur, the people will compel to think that the Karl Marx was right, that the state is becoming an agency for exploiting the masses at the hands of the classes. Let us not repeat that history. The government is doing its job, no doubt. We can see the efforts of the government, but it is equally your responsibility and my responsibility, the responsibility of you and me. When we say that we, the people of India, what does it mean? All of us are responsible for protecting the constitutional ethos, constitutional goals, and constitutional principles to ensure various kinds of justice. Remember one thing. What was the purpose of enacting the Constitution of India? To ensure what is called as a justice. What kind of justice do we expect for the people of India? We expect the social justice. We expect the political justice. And at the end, we expect the economic justice. Remember one thing. When you have economics, when you have what is called earth, then only there is a meaning to our life. People always, there was a very famous quotation, "Na baap bada na bhaiya, sabse bada rupaiya." So it is necessary to have a rupaiya with each and every person. It is a pocket which ultimately decides his survival. So it is a high time that you and me must contribute something for ensuring the meaningful life and to ensure some kind of economic justice to each and every people. See, look at the role of the law student when it comes to economic justice. See, I still remember when there was a 1,000, there was a cuttings by the government of 1,200 trees at the that RA Park. Uh, None of the petition came from the Bombay law students. There was a petition which was filed by the law students, something from the NIDA, and the Supreme Court took a note of that, and the work was stopped. Look at the contribution of a law student from the Bombay University when the cause of action was occurred in where in the RA Bombay. And see, therefore, I always say that the role of law student is very important. So when we talk about economic justice, remember one thing is it's a part of the legal justice. When you cannot ensure the economic justice, how will you ensure the legal justice? Article 39A is very much clear. It says that it is a responsibility of the state to ensure the equal opportunities for the legal aid. Now, without economic justice, how can you ensure the legal aid to the people? So, being a law student, it is your duty and responsibility to ensure the economic justice to all of our people. Now, you cannot contribute in terms of the money, I can understand because of your limited source of income. But at least you can campaign our judiciary, you can campaign our government, you can campaign our political authorities to do something for our needy people. So, it is the responsibility of all of us to ensure the economic justice for the people. Remember one thing, what was the economic justice before Corona is going to be different. It is going to be more sincere, more serious, more critical after AC, that is after Corona. Okay, so we have enough legislations, we have a well documented constitution, we have enough judgments of the Supreme Court, which time and again say that economic justice is a part of the fundamental right, despite of the fact that the ground reality is that each and every human being who is a poor, who is a migrant, still suffers for the economic justice in the territory of India. So with this, I finish my speech. Thank you very much for giving me an opportunity to deliver this topic. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yes, yes.
Your session was very wonderful.
Yes, ma'am.
Just,
Yes, yes, sir.
just the technical issues were there and the network problem.
I know.
If we leave that part aside, it was a very
Mhm.
wonderful speech and it was a very wonderful session
No,
which we have covered.
actually, I'm extremely sorry because of this network problem. Hello,
Yes, sir.
because of this network problem, there was a breakup. So I extremely apologize for that. So whatever it was a justice on my part, I could deliver. So if at
Sir,
all anything,
it is a part and parcel of the online studies which we will have to accept.
see, the problem with the Indian technology is when I will tell you technical efficiency and technical security. These are two important issues which Indian technology must address. Otherwise, really it is a good, but this because of this efficiency and security, still we are lacking somewhere else. Our technology we cannot compare with the foreign technology. The foreign technology, why it is superior? Because they have something called as efficiency and security. But in network problem, it is neither in my hand nor it is in your hand. There is something called as the act of the God. Oh my God.
Correct, sir.
So
Like they say that every coin has two sides. So
yeah, yeah.
we have to take both or we have to leave the whole.
That's what I'm saying. At the end, it is oh my God.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, so
Yeah. Any
now
question?
yes, sir. Now we'll be taking the question answers.
Hmm.
The question we won't be taking many or much of the questions today as the time limit because of the time limit. But
Yes,
still,
yes.
we have some few questions. Can I start with the question, sir?
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Sir, you have talked about migrant workers. You have talked about many other pandemic problems which we are facing right now. So
Uh-huh.
my question to you is, what are the remedies available to these migrant workers or any of the other person in this COVID-19 if they are denied their economic justice?
See, as I said, economic justice is a part of the fundamental rights, correct? The
Yes, sir.
remedies is very much clear. The Constitution of India very much clearly says that yes, if your fundamental rights are violated, you can go to the Supreme Court and you can go to the High Court. Now remember, no, one PIL was filed before the Supreme Court when 16 migrant employees were died on the railway track. Can you recollect that incident?
Yes, sir. I recollect that incident.
Hello, Arun Kumar.
Yes, sir. I can
And
recollect that
what was the
incident, sir.
stand taken by the Supreme Court? And what was the stand which was taken by the Supreme Court that time?
Sir, the case was being denied. That the petition was
So
being denied
this
actually.
is uh, Yeah, so if this is going to be a situation, then what kind of economic justice shall we expect? And remember one thing, that the petition was not moved by the migrant employees. They were not having the money, how much money for filing the filed by the social activists, which was not listened by the Supreme
Yes,
Court.
sir.
In fact, in advance, so many grounds. Let us not go into the depth on that. But see, the remedy which they have is they can go under Article 32 or under Article 226. They can file a PIL. But what is the reality of such PIL that you came to know? Correct, no?
Correct, sir. That was basically my question was that what if they are been denied their justice?
Huh.
Is there any other remedy they can seek for?
See, the Constitution says the constitutional defect should be cleared by the constitutional means. So, see, what is the rule of law? You know what is rule of law? Should I tell you one thing? Rule of law.
Yes, sir.
Rule of law, what does it mean? You know, I will take a simple example. Suppose you snatch a chain from me. Okay, if you snatch a golden chain from me and you go inside your home. Okay, now I came to know that Arun Kumar has snatched my golden chain and he is at his home. What I did, you know, I entered inside your house and I slapped you. You know, who will arrest me? Who will arrest me? The police officer will
You.
arrest the Jadhav sir of
Yes, sir.
law. You understand my point?
Yes, sir. I got your point, sir.
So what is my remedy? So today people are saying that if something happens, I will see you in the court of law. I will see you in the court of law. Why? For fear that the people should not say that I will go to the court of law. Where they will go. I hope you understood my point.
Yes, sir. Definitely, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Generally speaking, they have a remedies. They can go to the Human Rights Commission. They can go to the High Court and Supreme Court. But when it comes to the reality, it makes me restless. Really, it makes me very serious. And
Correct, sir.
therefore,
It
I
is.
told you now it's now high time on the part of the law students to do something for them.
Sir, definitely, we are on our.
Yes,
We
Arun
can.
Kumar.
Yes, sir. We are definitely playing our part, one or other way, and we'll make sure that if at least they won't get any justice,
Yes.
or but at least they are not denied their justice.
Whatever they have, at least they must get it. Huh?
Yes,
We
sir.
have seen the problem of the migrant employees right now. We are not saying the government is whatever government has done in the interest of the public. Okay, but something
Correct,
which
sir.
they must get a basic right to food, right to shelter, and right to survival, which the Supreme Court has said time and again is a part of Article 21. We are not talking about right to dignity and other things, but at least what is important is a right to food, right to survival. That is to be addressed. And I think that is the most economic justice which the will thereafter demand from us. Hmm.
Correct, sir. Sir, with this, I would like to invite
Yes,
our.
Arun Kumar.
I would like to invite
Yeah, yeah,
my student council's president, Rajkiran Jadhav, to give you the vote of thanks and to conclude this today's webinar, sir. Rajkiran?
yes, yes,
Yeah. Hello, Arun. Thanks for inviting me.
yes.
Sir, it's my privilege to propose a vote of thanks. I, on the behalf of Student Law Council and Siddharth Law College, extend a very hearty note of thanks to the Honorable Dr. Sanjay Jadhav, who blessed us with his presence and took out valuable time of his busy schedule. I also wish to express my gratitude to our principal, Ms. Sandhya Doke, for providing encouragement and support and giving us an opportunity to organize the event. I heartily thanks all the participants for the active participation in the event, as no program can be become successful with a single person. So I extend my big thanks to all participant viewers for the support. Thank you guys for making this webinar successful with your contribution. Sir, this lecture certainly benefited from your breadth of knowledge and you are the type of experts. Giving your time really helped to make it success. We look forward to having again you in the next webinar. Your presence here definitely enriched this lecture, and for this we remain grateful. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir, once again from
Thank you
Siddharth
so
Law
much.
College.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you,
Yeah,
all the
yeah.
participants.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Stay
Thank
safe,
you, sir.
stay home, and
Arun
Jai Hind.
Kumar.
Yes,
Arun
sir.
Kumar. Jai Hind. Jai Hind. Arun Kumar.
Jain, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I can hear
Arun
you, sir.
Kumar. Jai Hind. Jai Hind. Arun Kumar. Can you hear Arun Kumar?
Yes, sir. I can hear you, sir.
Arun Kumar, can you hear?
Yes, sir.
I have some audio recordings regarding the economic justice. Can you WhatsApp? Can
Yes, sir. That would be a very grateful thing to have with me, sir. I can forward it to all
hello?
the participants and to my class fellows also, sir.
Something different because because
Your audio is mute. Sir, your voice is not available, sir. You are not audible, sir. Your mic is mute. Now I can
hello.
hear you, sir. Yeah, you are audible now, sir.
Arun, Arun, now let us exit from this session and you take the mobile number from Sandhya Madam, Dr. Madam of